We're going to talk about niche mastery, how to create your irresistible high converting offers. It is a workshop style. So you guys are not only going to learn the concepts that I'm teaching, but I want you all to get into some massive action. And if you are all about getting into massive action, like say yes in the chat, because I want to make sure you guys are doing the work and you're not just listening to this presentation. So
yeah,
thank you.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. And this is going to be a workshop. You are all going to get some great value out of this tonight. Christine put together a really awesome presentation. I got to preview it. And I also want to put in at the end, if anyone's interested, she's offering a special deal to my groups to get $225 off her her program. So she'll tell you about that after, but that's just for the members of this group. So I thought that was wonderful that she did that. And Christine, go ahead. I'd love to hear how you create irresistible high converting offers.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my love. So again, say hello as you guys are coming in. Welcome to our incredible workshop this evening. And again, everything starts with a vision, right? Where are you going? Why are you creating your wellness practice? Who do you want to make an impact for? And what is, again, also your calling? And I can sit here and give you all the strategies that you need, all the marketing tools that I need, all the funnels. But if you don't have that deep connection to your niche, if you don't have that deep connection to where you're going, it's not going to work. And I hope the next like 60 minutes or so, I get to demonstrate that part for you, because I've myself too, as a practitioner, I've gone through like all these different pivotings and different ways of identifying even myself to like, who do I really want to serve, so that you're having fun while you're building your impact and you're also building and scaling your wellness practice. So again, we're going to focus on niche mastery, and also at the end, like giving you tools and tricks that you need to also like help your own like nervous system to get regulated, to feel good. Because again, if you're coming from this like scarcity mindset, you're coming from the survival mode, you're not going to have fun, you guys. Trust me, I've been there as a burnout entrepreneur myself too. So just bear with me as we go through our presentation. So again, this was a quote that I actually wanted to share with all of you. Some of you may have heard this. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this existed. But in 1904, Thomas Edison wrote, "The doctor of the future will give no medication, but will interest his patients in the care of his human frame diet and in the cause and prevention of disease." And again, many of us go through this, we kind of like breeze through it, we hear about it, but this incredible tribe that Jody has created, we are here to really reinvent how we're taking care of our clients, how we're taking care of our patients, and going back to that root cause. So again, this is not something new that we're doing. This has been done for centuries. It's just like now we're actually seeing a lot more of the rebirth and rebrand, and how more practitioners are bringing this into their practice. So whether or not you're a brand new coach, whether or not you're a brand new practitioner in this functional medicine space, this workshop is for you. So you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have my practice yet. What do I do? But I want you all to have that open mind of like, we all have to start somewhere. So, and this is, I'm not the only person talking about this. This is the data that's been published, articles. This is actually a recent article that was published in 2020 from Harvard Medical School. And they're really talking about how important it is that for their own hospital there, for the doctors to go through an intensive training. They're looking for physicians. It says right over here, going to undergo intensive training to become certified health and wellness coaches. And this is coming from Harvard Medical School. So if you're a practitioner like myself, I'm a pharmacist by trade. I have my doctorate in pharmacy, right? And if you're listening to this presentation saying like, okay, why am I downgrading my practice, right? Again, you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. I'm going to use the word coach instead of a practitioner, instead of a specialist, or again, you call yourself whatever you have the calling of saying, but we have undergone intensive training to add in this knowledge to our own practice, right? So again, we don't learn this stuff in school. I didn't learn this in school. But again, if Harvard Medical School is advocating for more MDs to bring in this wellness coaching, right, this root cause, this holistic wellness into their practice, I'm like, we're on the right place. So if you're excited to know that big schools with reputation stand behind this, type in yes in the chat, because I was super fired up when I saw this publication. And I'm actually currently finishing up a course from Harvard Medical School myself too, that's diving into lifestyle and nutrition. So there's always something to learn and grow. Here's another article that was published in 2021. This was published in New York Times, and it was titled straight up, "We could all use a health coach." I mean, as simple as that. So, and not only great value, but again, I want you all to have this big vision of like, you are going somewhere like not only many practitioners want to tap into, but most of you are already doing that. And how can we take your impact to the next level? Because again, more impact you make, more lives you are going to change. And I hope during today's presentation, you'll get those tools to implement in your practice today, to see that growth and to really have that clear vision of where you are going and what your niche should look like. You guys will also throughout the presentation hear this word, holistic wellness, spelled with a W. And this is exactly what we stand for at Story Institute. I'm the founder and CEO of Story Institute and also Story Wellness. And in our companies, in both of my companies, we look at holistic wellness as a whole. And that's where the W comes from, because it's a whole body health with holistic principles. And the way we define it is returning to our natural state of health by adapting a lifestyle that supports the body's innate ability to heal and thrive. We do touch upon functional medicine, integrated medicine, energy healing, all the things that you see here on our slides. This what makes someone's practice to the next level, by understanding how can we incorporate all these modalities, or even pick and choose a couple of them that resonate the most with you, right? Again, as a practitioner myself, I started with functional medicine. This is how I was introduced to this space. But then later on, I realized there was a lot of nutrition that changed my life. I'll share a bit of my story too. And, the last 2 years, I've been heavily on the energy healing piece and just releasing a lot of like this internal trauma that was making me sick. And again, it's that whole body health. How can we support our clients based on your passion, what really sets you apart from other practitioners as well too? And again, we have a vision at Story Institute that every clinician will integrate holistic wellness coaching into their practice. And this approach becomes the gold standard of care. So you're in the right place. If you're a clinician, wellness practitioner, health and wellness coach, you're a healer, you are looking into launching a virtual practice, or you're looking to scaling your wellness practice, or you're here to really understand what does it take to really niche down so you can serve and you can actually create a high converting offer. So again, you can be successful in any wellness practice you launch, but you have to be consistent on your actions and also have this deep connection with your niche, right? I get fired up jumping out of bed every single day, like saying like, oh my gosh, like it took me years after years to like fine tune of like, who do I really want to serve? But when you get so close, you're like, man, I got it. It just really excites you. And I hope you guys are going to be experiencing that based on like your thinking is going to be like going forward too. So again, taking motivated action. Again, we're here to take action. And I really want you all to have fun with us, right? Don't make this hard. Don't make it complicated. Many of you are clinicians that are listening. Our logical mind is going to try to protect us. Like, is this making sense? Do I have to like make sure I have all the answers before I do something? No, this is where you want to, like, you're in the playground. You're creating your wellness practice. You can do whatever it feels right for you and your soul, to do this with fun and ease. And again, I'm saying this because I've gone through like hardcore, like go, go, go mentality to like, oh my gosh, like I'm not aligned with what I just created. I'm going to burn everything down and bring it back again to actually have fun of what I'm doing and who I'm serving. So again, doesn't matter where you are, your motivation journey at this point, I'm here to help you and support you. So just a little bit of a background about myself. Who am I? This might be your very first time hearing me speak. Hello, my name is Dr. Christine Manukyan, and I am someone who was trading my own health for the career. I'm, residency trained, worked at a top-notch hospital here in Beverly Hills. And again, I was chasing after the promotion after promotion, being in an administrative role, an executive role, again, trading my health for my career, for my ego, for the reputation, right? And again, in 2015, which was like 8 years ago, I hit the rock bottom, you guys. I was in massive health crisis with extremely high cholesterol, morbidly obese. And I was just like a hot mess. I was just surviving. I just had my kiddos. And I was like, really like thinking like, this is the new norm, right? I'm a mom, I have a top-notch job. So again, this is me on the top picture right here. And, everything kind of like made sense for me when I actually heard my primary care doctor saying like, Christine, you're gonna like freaking have a heart attack the way you're going. So imagine being a mom And, someone's telling you that you're going to have a heart attack in the next like 5 years. And that's what I was told. At age 35, I was told if I continue the way I'm going, I'm going to have a heart attack by the time I turn 40. So I'm one of those folks who don't like to settle for anything. And again, I was given a solution during my 5-minute office visit. Bless her heart, but there was not a lot of conversation going on about my life, my lifestyle, right? And it was like, here's your prescription for a Lipitor. Come back in 6 months. We'll do the checkup just to make sure you're okay, right? And I was like, I don't want to settle for this. This is like a quick fix. And I just knew that I knew inside my heart there has to be a better way. I just didn't know what it was. But again, when you start focusing on something, the universe will deliver to you. And, I, put my time and energy on like searching and praying for people to come and literally save me, come on this other side of this wellness journey. And what I found was functional medicine. What I found was getting to the root cause of why was I becoming morbidly obese? Why was I, in such a huge burnout? And I started really diving into this, wellness space, not as a pharmacist, but more of like looking into like why, right? Getting to the root cause. And I started doing that for several years. And all I can tell you, as a result, my health completely transformed. I lost over 100 pounds, you guys. You see me on stage right here in 2017, actually like 2 years after I started my wellness journey, my, weight loss journey. And as a matter of fact, in 2020, when I turned 40, I ran my very first marathon. So this is what's possible when you are, so driven. And I know many of you are practitioners here. You found this calling to become a wellness practitioner, to become, functional medicine practitioner because of your own health crisis too. If this is you, put in yes in the chat, because I know I'm not the only person who found functional medicine, by accident or by a lecture that I saw in pharmacy school. No, it was my own health journey that brought me here. But again, this was a journey that I started, and the last 8 years, I became so freaking passionate about telling everyone. I said hi to anyone that I was connecting with, just really showing them there is a better way. And I was able to help them with that. And throughout the last, again, 8 years of being in this wellness space, helped over 300 clients to transform their health, primarily with weight loss. Again, that was my niche to start with, but you guys will see how that has evolved and changed. And again, during the last 3 years, I also made that big, crazy, wild, scary decision to quit my corporate job as a clinical pharmacist, as an administrator in 2020, and to pursue my passion, become a full-time entrepreneur, become a full-time practitioner in this space. And as a result, again, it was one of the hardest, scariest, wildest decisions that I made. But as a result, I quadrupled my income because I went into this journey of saying, like, I'm here for a reason, and I'm going to figure it out as I go. But I didn't do it alone. I had to, hire correct, mentors and go to different schools. Jody helped me to get started in SAFM in 2020. I still remember a call. I'm like, Jody, what is SAFM? How do I do this? I was in the class, April of 2020. Again, digging deeper and deeper. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do to take this to the next level? And again, every single year I had to ask myself, what am I doing to take my business, my practice, myself to the next level? And you guys can see the last 2 years, not only we've been, publishing all this, best-selling books, but also like really going on my own healing journey myself, and me going first. And this is where I was really introduced to this energy healing piece and making this as like truly my niche, truly my calling. And now I'll integrate this with functional medicine piece. So again, I'm here to teach you what I'm doing. This is not something, that I want to keep it hush hush, only people who see me and pay me to work with me. But again, I'm showing you all what's possible. I am not special. I am not someone who was given all the answers just kind of, provided to me. I had to work my way to it, but I also had to have this open mind of knowing that I'm going to figure it out, right? I'm going to figure out what my next step should be. I'm going to figure out who I need to connect with. Who do I need to, ask for help? And that all it takes of just making that decision that you want to improve your own wellness, your own well-being, and also improve how you're doing business in general. So again, I want you all to come with us, at the end of this workshop, to know that you can become very highly selective who you work for, who you are saying yes to, for them to work with you. And again, because, in the beginning of your business, you might be saying yes to everyone, right? Because, hey, they're here to pay me. How dare you? I cannot tell no. But let me tell you, that can only last for so long. You're going to hit that rock bottom. You can actually feel the burnout because you're not aligned with the people that you're serving. If this resonates with you, type in yes, because I've been there, you guys. Everything that it comes out of my mouth is, it's not just a theory. It's not a fun quote to say to make this presentation sexy. This is exactly what I went through. When I quit my job and I was like, oh my gosh, I just left my 6-figure high salary, 12 years of experience and all these things. Like, I was in that hustle mentality of like, everyone who was ready to work with me, I said yes. But that did only last 2 years, because in 2022, I hit another rock bottom of like, oh shit, like what the heck did I just create? What did I just do? Like, I'm not aligned with this anymore, right? But again, being aligned with the work that you're doing and the impact that you're making in your client's life, this is exactly where I want you all to get to by the end of this presentation. Amazing. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat as well too. So again, with this presentation, I want you all to understand there's just so much more out there than just business strategy. And I'm going to briefly go through the story scale framework, because this is a framework that really helped me in my own business. And this is exactly the framework that we teach inside the Story Institute. And those of you who are part of our masterminds. And scale framework, it is very unique because it actually encompasses all the different parts as a business owner. And each letter stands for something. Letter S stands for sales master and business strategist. So again, you need that. If you don't know how to sell your services, you're not in business, right? You're more in like charity work, or it's more of a hobby for you. But if those of you who really want to increase your impact, increase your revenue, these are tools that you need to be learning. Letter C stands for clinical trainings and protocols. Again, who are you? What clinical knowledge do you need to add to your own wellness practice, right? To really make you feel so aligned with what you're doing. Again, I've been learning after learning after learning. Every year I enroll myself in different functional medicine schools, started with SAFM, went to FMU, went to IFM. And it's like every year I'm always investing in my own growth as well too, because there's always something that someone has to offer that I'm like, amazing. I love that, right? It's that constant growth. Letter A stands for alignment with your brand and marketing strategy. Again, I can give you all the branding and marketing strategy today, but if you're not aligned with what we're asking you to do, you're not going to be having fun. You're not going to be coming up with the energy of like you want to create that. Letter L stands for legacy and generational wealth creation. So again, I hope all of you have this big vision that one day you will have an exit strategy in your business. I know I do. I cannot wait for the day to actually have a multiple millions of dollars of exit strategy for my own business, for my own companies. And again, I hope you all to like come with that vision as well too, because there's always other companies that might be looking into buying you out with your wellness practice has grew, because they don't want to start from scratch and they rather invest and collaborate. So again, there's always something that you can take it to the next level. And last but not least, energetics of entrepreneurship is the letter E in a scale framework, because if you are not showing up energetically, if you're not aligned with what you're doing, you're just not going to be successful. So here's our very first thing I want you all to do. So if you are a brand new practitioner, amazing. If you're a seasoned practitioner, do the same thing too. This is something that I teach everyone. The minute they come in and be like, I want to scale my business, I'm like, cool. Are you clear of who you're serving, right? Like, what is your niche? And this is a 3-second rule. Again, I want you all to be very honest with yourself. If you already have your website, just go to your website. In the first 3 seconds, as you're scrolling, are you clear? Like, what do you stand for, right? Like, who are you? Who do you help? What is the result you help them to get, right? Your ideal client, if they're on your website, within 3 seconds, are they going to be very clear about like exactly what is it that you do? Who are you here to serve, right? And also, what is the gap that you're fulfilling right now? And what is your secret sauce? How are you different than other practitioners down the street? And this is so important because many practitioners do this backwards. They will chase after the growth and lead generation, running ads before they have a clear vision what their offer is and who they're here to serve and what makes them a category of one. If you have heard me speak, I always say, what makes you you? What is your secret sauce that no one else is doing? Not the content, the clinical content, but it's like how they're doing that, right? How they make them unique. And again, the reason I showed you all what Story, Institute stands for, the holistic wellness, because there's not a lot of schools out there. They understand that bringing everything together, which is perfectly fine. But that's what makes us unique. That's what makes my practice unique. Because if someone comes to our wellness practice, I'm not just going only with functional medicine. I'm going to throw in some, all this woo-woo stuff in there, nutrition stuff in there, right? Because that's what I believe in. That's what makes us unique. So again, just ask yourself, are you really clear with who you're here to serve and what impact they're going to get? If it's not clear, you lost them already. That's like literally step number one. If you're like, oh, sure, like I got some work to do, amazing, then get to work, right? And I hope this will help you to like really, really niche it down. So again, many of us start as a generalist, right? And it is all about becoming the specialist. And again, I'm using this word generalist specialist just to kind of paint the picture of what I'm talking about. Again, a generalist has a broad range of skills and can adapt to various situations, while a specialist has a deep expertise in a particular area, right? And while being a generalist can make you more versatile and adaptable, it can also make it harder for people to understand what you do and why they should choose you over a specialist. And on the other hand, being a specialist allows you to stand out in this crowded market and also charge premium for your services. So again, I'm asking you all to like start niching down, pivoting and pivoting till you establish yourself as a specialist. Again, I started with serving everyone for weight loss because I was like, heck yeah, I'm going through my own journey. Like I want to just serve everyone. Next thing I know, I'm like coaching people. I was like, oh, I don't think I want to really like do this conversations with. And I had to get like more niche down. Okay, who do I want to serve now? It was still weight loss, but it was like only moms who want to get back to their own health, because I was like, that is me, right? Again, it takes time. So I started as a generalist, but now it's like going more like niching down of understanding exactly who I want to serve. And now it's not just weight loss. It's a lot of this energetic work too that has helped me also to release a lot of this like crazy wild pounds, right? Because I had to let go of a lot of like trauma that I was holding on to, and my body was like resisting to the weight loss journey I was on. So again, you're going to niche down, you're going to pivot until you establish yourself as a specialist. So some of you are like listening, you're like, well, I already have my specialty, I'm all good, but I want to challenge you. How can you take this one step further, right? How can you truly, truly become that category of one that I'm here to paint the picture for, right? And put in the chat if you already have your specialty, if you already have your, identify your zone of genius. I would love to hear that. But also those of you who are just getting started, or you're like still like in your learning phase, you haven't officially launched your wellness practice, start asking yourself, as you go through this exercise, what is that common theme that shows up? What are some interests that you have? Maybe this is specific food that you love to cook, right? One of our practitioners, Dr. Gigi, Dr. Georgiana, that's exactly what she does. She's Greek. She comes from an amazing Mediterranean lifestyle. She saw 3 generations of like women cooking like Greek food. And that's what her brand is, you guys. She teaches other folks how to bring a Mediterranean lifestyle to their wellness. That's exactly what she does. Like she doesn't need to go any further because it's her experience and her love for food. Food is medicine, right? So again, what experiences and educations you also have, or certifications? What is your life story that you can bring this and add that additional piece to help you to niche down? Right? Also, who are you? What do you advocate for? Right? Again, like I'm a mom, I'm a spouse, right? And that's when I was like, I started to really niching down, saying like, I don't want to just help everyone to lose weight. I just want to help those moms because I understand exactly what they're going for, right? I know exactly how they feel when they look in the mirror, right? I could speak to the same language. I share the same vision, right? The same pain points, right? So again, what makes you you? Also, what do you do? Maybe some of you have hobbies and specialties, and just really keeping that in the forefront. Core beliefs is like another huge place that many people forget about, and this is where faith and healing modalities values come into place. I actually have two amazing practitioners, and literally just last night we had a VIP day for all of our brand new clinicians in our tribe, and we're just really fine-tuning their own zone of genius, right? Their own branding and the marketing piece. And two of those ladies are like, we only want to work with Christian-based families. That's all they want to do. I'm like, amazing, right? Because that's what their calling is. So do not underestimate, how you can actually even take your faith. It doesn't matter what you believe in, who you believe in, right? And just making that part of your brands. Okay.
And Lauren had a question,
oh, yes.
Christine. She wants to know, she was thinking gut health, but she's wondering, is that too broad to say just gut health, or should she be niching down further?
Oh my gosh, Lauren, thank you for asking. Can I use you as an example too, my love? So yes, you said gut health, right? That's more of your interest piece. So then I want you to start tapping into gut health for who? Gut health for a, brand new baby who is 2 years old and have massive eczema, and the moms have heard from somewhere that gut health is going to help their eczema again. Or gut health for someone who is, post-menopause and they're having all this hot flash. Again, gut health for who, right?
Or maybe bloating, if you're bloating, or if you're, acid reflux, or maybe one of those niches, do you think?
Yeah. And again, this is where it kind of goes down to my next slide. We're going to dive into a little bit deeper of who is this person, right? Mm-hmm. So when you say gut health, Lauren, this is amazing. This is beautiful. But also I want you to have this deep connection of why gut health, and also subcategory within that category, right? Like Jody was saying, maybe it's the bloating piece. Maybe you just want to help everyone with acid reflux. There's many people who take all this damn OTC acid reflux meds and they're addicted to that shit. I'm speaking from experience, and they don't realize why they're actually killing themselves, right?
And Lauren's saying, well, maybe for people with food sensitivity. So
yes.
That's definitely niching it down.
Exactly.
Elena has a question about, what about metabolic syndrome? Is that too broad, or is that?
Yeah. So that's the big, that's the starting point. That's like me saying I want to help with weight loss, right? But there is so much layers of layers as well too. So even if it's metabolic syndrome, either whether it's gut health, again, who is that one person you want to help? You're speaking to one person. You're not speaking to the mass. Again, who is that one person you're going to help, right? Again, age groups. We're going to dive into that just a little bit. But to me, if you just say metabolic syndrome, again, you're not speaking to me. Because when I go to your website, when I go to your marketing content, I'm like, does she even get what I have going through? And if it's too broad, I'm like, okay, she's just another person, right? Versus if it's so deep inside, let's say bloating as an example, right? And you're literally speaking to that, college student who is always bloated and she feels uncomfortable going on dates because she doesn't feel comfortable in her own skin. Now you're very specifically talking about an age group, demographics, how they feel, and how can you help them to get rid of one thing, right? Does this kind of help you guys? Help you ladies? But yes, that would be the top category. But again, how do you go deeper and deeper and deeper? And one thing I love to say this is, action creates clarity. Literally, action creates clarity. If you take action by, let's say, launching a program, starting, let's say, broad weight loss, right? Gut health. And then you'll get to see what kind of questions you're getting from people, because some people will be like, hey, I was just recently diagnosed with IBS. Can you help me? Or someone will come and be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have some food sensitivities or allergies and blah, blah, blah. Can you help me too, right? Or someone is, chronic constipation, that don't know what's going on, right? Again, you're going to start getting questions from people because you start broad, but then you're going to listen to what your audience is asking for. But if you don't take that action to at least launch, you're not going to know what to create. And next time you launch, you can be a bit more specific and more specific and more specific. So give yourself permission to press play and go and start working on that. This is an ongoing process, you guys. This is ongoing process that every business owner needs to evaluate every quarter, at least twice a year, seriously, because you're going to also change too. Your interests might also change. Okay.
And Elena had a question too. This is a great question. And it's very narrow niche, will not limit me as a practitioner. And I just want to say, I started out with a more narrow niche. And what happens is nobody comes to you with just one thing, right? They might have metabolic syndrome, but they might also have gout and hypertension and gut issues and hormone issues, and they're exhausted. And, and then you wind up going down rabbit holes and helping them if you're working with them one-on-one with all those different things. But what drew them to you was that one thing. So it's really interesting. I mean, I had somebody who came to me for weight loss also, one of my first clients, and she had about 10 other things going on that I had to address. And I helped her with all those things, and she did lose 20 pounds on top of it. But it was like, and that's how you learn more as a practitioner, going down those rabbit holes and really helping people on that level. Is that what you were thinking, Christine?
Absolutely. And you beautifully said that, Jody. Like I always say that 20% rule, right? 80% of the time, you're going to attract people exactly who you want to attract, right? Exactly why people have found you, right? And 20% of the time, people are going to come for it because they see you talk about it, you're advocating for wellness, right? It's the same thing too. Like if you have specific, let's say, if you need a cardiologist, you're not going to go to your dermatologist who also does cardiologist consult on the side. You're going to go straight up to the cardiologist. But then if other things show up, they're like, oh, you need to go see so-and-so. So you know what I mean? So you're always
or if you can help them, you can help them with that too, but you don't advertise everything. Eventually, yes. I think you can, but when you're starting and trying to build a business, I think you're absolutely right.
Yes.
You've got to niche down.
And your brand is so unique. And this is one thing that like also kind of like upsets me because it is our limiting belief, that scarcity mindset that is holding us back to niche down. And trust me, I've been there. I just shared that experience, right? When I started my business, I was helping everyone because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I like really go and only help like moms and things like that? I was like, everyone needs weight loss. I'm going to help them all, right? But again, because it was my own limiting belief that there's not enough people that will want my services, right? But more specific you are, like you already get established that go-to person for that. And people are going to talk about you. They're going to talk about you, even if you're not in a room, Lauren. And that, Elena, whoever was asking the question. And this is exactly what makes your brand so unique, that category of one, because one person heard you talk about something, right? Or that had experience with you, and they're going to share that in rooms that other people that you're not even there. And this is when you know, like you've made it, like, because people are like remembering you for that one thing. But yes, we will attract people for other things as well too. And that's the beauty of this whole holistic wellness, because as a practitioner, we're educated on a lot of things, but I'm not going to go and help someone with, let's say, menopause. I have no like knowledge and experience in that space, right? Talk to me about other stuff. I'm like, heck yeah, let's go. But do I have some knowledge? Absolutely. But am I going to attract a lot of women, let's say, who are going through menopause? No, because I'm not even there yet. Soon will be, but I'm not there yet, and I don't have enough experience or also like that drive to bring this to my brand.
Yeah, come to me. I got you there.
Right there. So like. Seriously. Okay, great questions. And please keep the questions coming. And again, this is supposed to be like this interactive conversations, but this is exactly when you see again that common theme of like, oh my gosh, amazing. Like this is where my zone of genius is. This is where I want to go through, right? The next question is going to be like, great. Now, who is that ideal client that you're going to serve? And once you start really going through all these bubbles and start answering those questions, you're going to get so laser focused of who that person is, because you're not helping everyone. You're helping one person at a time. So again, who is your ideal client? Give them a name. This is a human being that you're here to serve. And let me tell you, the minute you understand exactly who you want to serve, guess what? All of a sudden, those people just appear right in front of you, because your time and energy is going into like seeing that in them. Because if you're not sure exactly who you want to serve, these people can pass by you, that can, kindly start like a conversation with you, but you're not going to grab that attention because you're not even thinking in that direction, right? And again, the minute I started like really understanding and really feeling who my true ideal clients are, next thing I know, they're like, oh my gosh, like, yes, these are my people, right? And again, what is their name? Give them a name, right? And these are things that I want you all to answer, like, what are their top 3 goals in the next 1 year, right? So if it's gut health, what specifically about gut health, the next, like, within a year, like they want to improve? Maybe it is, let's say, food sensitivities with bloating and chronic constipation. I don't know. Dig in deeper, right? Why do they want to change? Also, do they want to change? Because some people just settle, it is what it is. I was one of them. It didn't, I didn't become morbidly obese, 260 pounds overnight. It took time, but I was like, it is what it is. I'm a new mom. Sure, this is supposed to be fine. It's like, no. Do they have the need, and do they also want to change, and why do they want to change, right? It's so important, because the minute you start answering these questions, now you can start creating content that specifically speaks around their pain points, right? Like, what stresses them out? What is their biggest fear, right? My biggest fear was I was freaking gonna die. I was like, oh my gosh, hell no, like, game on, I got to do something, right? That was my biggest fear. I was not worried about, like losing weight. I was worried about dying, right? Again, was there also monthly income? This will also help you as towards the end of the presentation, creating your offer. Like, if you're serving someone who is making, let's say, 6 figures in their, because you want to help, let's say, executive roles, yeah, their income is going to dictate the pricing of your program as well too, right? So again, their lifestyle, what do they want to do for fun? Because this is also another way you can connect with your ideal clients. Maybe their occupation, marital status, gender preferences. Again, do you want to work with women only? Do you want to work with men only? Do you want to work with men and women, right? So again, what are the feelings that you have when you're talking to your ideal clients? And again, once you are very clear on this, like, you guys, like, let me tell you, they're going to be everywhere. You might be standing in line, getting your coffee in your favorite coffee shop, and you will hear a conversation 3, women down, and someone is complaining to their girlfriend saying like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I ate something last night. This morning I woke up, I was so freaking bloated. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting my period, but I'm so bloated. You're gonna like, okay, someone's thinking like something is going on, right? It's going to catch your attention. So again, this is exactly what I want you all to do. And, just for fun, like, give your ideal client a name, put it in the chat too. Like, I want to hear who you want to serve. My ideal client, her name is Chloe. It's, what I wanted to name my daughter, but my husband said no, because we didn't want to be associated with Khloe Kardashian. I said, fine, it is what it is. I'm Armenian, but we're not associating ourselves with the Kardashian. But again, like, that's the name, again, that I'm like attracted to, right? Connected with as well too. Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm going to move on to the next piece, which is, oh my gosh, I can have like a full-on training just on this one piece alone. It's the energetics piece. Energetics of entrepreneurship is so freaking important, and it's not talked about a lot, because for some people, it's like, I want to keep my own shit in my own privacy and not talk about it. I used to be like that, right? From outside as a business owner, I was like, glamour, amazingness, high energy, but then I'll like literally crush at home. I would cry inside, like in my own bedroom without anybody seeing it, because I didn't want to look like I was like didn't have my shit together, right? And again, energetics is everything. And for you to create your brand, to scale your business, to really understand your impact and where you're going, you have to be energetically aligned with that. Again, this is not some new concept you're learning from me, but we all have feminine and masculine energy. And again, when I left my job in 2020, I was heavy on masculine energy, because I was operating from that survival mode. I'm like, oh shit, I just quit my job. Everyone thinks I'm going through midlife crisis. Even my own husband, he was like, you're crazy. Like people were like, Christina's lost her shit. Like what, who leaves their successful career in 2020? Like not a lot of people, but I just knew that I knew I was meant for more, right? And again, but I was really heavily on this masculine energy, having that independence, the strength, decisiveness as a brand new business owner, doing this for full time. The competitiveness was there, the courage, ambition, logical thinking, leadership, confidence. These are amazing, amazing, amazing things to have, but you have to have a balance with the feminine as well too. Because when you're heavily operating here, you're suppressing everything that is here. So again, was I showing up as empathetic I could have been? No. Was I showing more compassion? No. It was there, but it was not the dominant feeling because I was heavy on the masculine energy side, right? Sensitivity,
And
nurturing.
is this for men and women, Christine?
Absolutely. Men and women have this, you guys. And again, we're
So
both
need to be balanced.
It has to be the balance piece, right? And when we come to the feminine energy, this is where your emotional intelligence comes into place, your patience and creativity, right? So if you're heavily on this feminine energy piece in this flow and this beautiful space, you're not going to have, quote unquote, the courage or ambition to charge for your worth. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, just pay me $50 for a 90-minute consult because I just want to help you. That's beautiful, but you can't grow a business like that. Does that make sense? So you have to have a balance because again, many of us, are one or the other way, or we may shift and a given time you will shift between feminine and masculine energy. But for you is to be aware of both, and we need to have both. You have to have both. But when you are out of balance, this is exactly what happens when you're going to be like stuck in the feminine side and you are just going to be like hustling and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to pay my bills, but I heard, I helped like 50 people this month alone, right? But I'm sleeping, I'm not eating well because I have no time, right? Versus someone in the highly masculine energy piece, which was me. It was just like go, 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 go. And again, I hit that rock bottom and I was so obsessed with my business, you guys. And I'm sharing this publicly because not many entrepreneurs talk about this because they're like, oh, I'm not going to show all my cards, but I want you all to know, like, you will hit at some point of your business. And when you see something is shifting, like stop, pause, and ask yourself, is my nervous system regulated? And this is exactly what I want you all to start even asking yourself. These are symptoms of highly dysregulated nervous system. When you're feeling tired, but you're so wired, typing yes in the chat if you can relate to this. This was me, you guys. From 2020 to 2022, I had all of these in my core. Like literally, this was me, highly functional, right? But I couldn't focus on things. My concentration's all over the place. I was like, oh crap, now do I have ADHD now? Or is this like an entrepreneurial thing? What's happening? Like what's going on? Like, did I quit my job? Was this a business mistake? Like it was constantly like my focus was like all over the place, right? Also enduring high pressure situations, but then breaking down in privacy. And this is most exactly me. I will be on camera. I will be teaching. I will be serving. I will be giving my all. But then I'm like, cameras are off and I'm like freaking crying in my bedroom. I was like, what the heck did I just like create? Like, how did I get here? But again, I didn't see this coming because a lot of people also in my group, the masterminds that I was in, the mentors I had, nobody was talking about this because it was too sensitive for people to open up their heart and be like feeling like, people didn't want to talk about it. And maybe it was, their style of, privacy. But again, I'm sharing all this because we all experience this. If you haven't yet, it will be times when you catch yourself in this space. Like, trust me, it's going to happen. It's just life in general. But what are you going to do about it, right? This is the other one that, again, I was like so like in it. I was like, once I hit X amount in my business, then I will relax. Then I will take that day off. Then I will not work that evening. Then I will not work that weekend. No, that's what caused my burnout. Go without stopping, right? You guys, I was also getting sick before or right after my launches. And I was like, oh, maybe just COVID. Oh my God, I lost my voice because maybe I was talking for too long, blah, 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 blah. No, my body was physically breaking down because I was, again, this high dysregulated masculine go mentality. And I was like, oh shit, like what the heck did just happen? I gained like, 30, 40 pounds during this whole time. And I was like, how the heck did I get here again, right? I was constantly checking DMs over the DMs just to see, has anybody messaged me, right? I had this like perfectionist stuff like still stuck in my head. It's like, I can't mix this up. It has to be perfect. It has to be perfect, right? Or procrastinating on projects until the pressure is really high and I have to like, oh shit, I have to do this, right? Again, operating in that survival mode. Avoiding creativity and testing due to fear of judgment or failure. Again, we all go through this as well too. Many of you, if type in yes in the chat, if you still have this fear of judgment or failure, I know I did. And again, I was like, it has to be like really, it has to be perfect. Like again, like everything I put out there has to be perfect, right? And the last but not least, again, there's like many other things you can like relate to, but this endlessly checking for my clients to pay. Again, it goes back to this like, is it happening? Is it happening? Is it like, you know what I mean? And this is not normal, you guys. Nobody should be living like in this state, because when you are like this, you're also attracting people who are like, they see this in you. They're like, oh my gosh, like it just doesn't feel right. People can sense your energy, does it, whether it's like virtually like we have right now or it's in person, people can sense that. They may not say it, but they will sense it. So again, ask yourself, are you living your life right now in this like dysregulated nervous system? If you are, like, I want you all to give yourself permission to pause and think and go back to the basics and ask yourself, truly, like, did I create a business that I'm not aligned with, right? Am I really serving the people that I really want to serve? What is, again, my message? What is my purpose? Again, it sounds a little bit woo-woo for some of you, but you have to do the work. And again, before you start mapping out your next offer of like, what are you going to be creating? I want you all to start, again, coming from that mindset of like, you're not going to create some offer out there because you're like highly dysregulated, because you're chasing after the dollars, you're chasing after the clients, right? I want you to come in from that energy of serving and giving and love and abundance, and the offer will come. The creativity will come. The right clients will be like, I have been waiting to work with you. Thank you for opening enrollment for X, Y, and Z, right? And again, as you put your offers together, keep asking yourself those questions. Are you creating something just to create, to make money? Or are you really like stopping and thinking and asking yourself, is this exactly what my soul desires? And again, I've created many offers the last 2-3 years because I was in this go, go, go mentality. But then after we will be done, but I was like, oh my gosh, like this show was exhausting. Like what did I do? But it was already too late because I was already done with the programs, right? But again, what is your niche? What is going to be that one unique offer that you have the strong desire to create, to bring this to the world? That is your message, right? Again, who is your ideal client? You went through all the exercise. And based on that, like, what is the price point you're going to be serving and asking, right? And again, as you get to the price point, again, ask yourself, are you making that decision on the price point because you're heavily on the feminine side of you like compassion, I cannot charge that much, or you are extremely like on the masculine side on the higher ticket, higher price point because you're like, well, I'm the best, right? And I have to make money. Again, ask yourself those questions because it is going to make a huge difference in your business because you're stopping and pausing and asking yourself those key questions. And again, when are you going to launch this? What platform are you going to be launching this? And this all comes together based on what feels right for you. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I do not enjoy going live on social media. Like Instagram is not my jam, Facebook is not my jam, but I just love doing in-person events. I love doing retreats. And amazing, then monetize that. Maybe that is your offer. Maybe that's exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be partnering with local, wellness places and doing your very first in-person one-day event, half a day event. It doesn't matter. Your offer is your offer, but you have to be also aligned with what you're doing, what you're serving. Otherwise, you're not going to be, having fun. So type it in the chat if you guys already start thinking of like, I want to put this out to the market. Like this is something that I've been thinking about. And like potentially, when do you feel you're going to give birth to this new offer? And before I like go to the next training topic is I want you to also like ask yourself, are you going to really go into massive action the next 6 months? Because this is the time that will change your business in 2024. The action you take today between now and the end of the year will help you be a million steps ahead because you've done the work. You've created that, you maybe you launched a couple of times, you pivoted, you launched it again. Because when January is around here, many people will wake up and be like, I'm going to be the healthiest person. This is my year. New Year resolutions are there. Everyone wants to get healthy. People are spending money left and right. They've been saving for that after the holidays. Are you going to be open in your doors to serve your ideal clients? But you have to do the work between now and the end of the year. This is not the time to take the year off. This is not the time to chillax and relax, and then you're going to get back on track because it's the summer and the kids are off. No, this is the time you get into massive action to gain that clarity of, again, who is it that you want to serve?
I love that. I love how you really outside of the box. What do you really want to do? Not what is everyone else doing? Because when I was getting started, it was like everyone was doing one-on-one. That's the way we did it. And I just fell into what that was. And now I'm really rethinking it, like getting into more groups and things that I want to do to leverage. But there's a couple questions here. Lauren's just saying she'd love to put something together the next 2 to 3 months. Yes, you should do it. And Elaine is also asking, pricing is the most difficult step for her as a registered nurse. She says, I'm used to getting paid hourly and help people without thinking about the pay. And that's a big problem for a lot of medical practitioners, right, Christine?
Absolutely. You guys, I'm a pharmacist, right? I never charge for my services. No, it was in my DNA to give a free consult when someone's there picking up their prescription, or when I'm going around in the hospital doing discharge planning and going over their discharge meds. No one paid me for office visits. So trust me, Lena, I know exactly. That was one of the hardest things for me as well too. I'm like, oh crap, like how did I go from not making money for my consults to now asking people to pay me $150 an hour, $200 for it, depending on what I'm doing, one-on-one versus group, whatever, right? It was the hardest shit ever because I wasn't used to it. But you have to understand, we're not in this transaction base here. It's that lifestyle. Again, you are giving people the gift of life and time. You're giving them hope there is a better way. No one can put a price tag of me, not having my freaking heart attack and dying because, you know what I mean? I went on this healing journey. I went on my weight loss journey. I found a better way. I treated my health as a top priority. You can't put
I would have paid just about anything when I was, in the throes of 20 years of suffering with chronic urticaria. I wish I had met someone like me back then, and I would have paid anything to have gotten better because I was suffering mightily. And so, yeah, you have to think, you don't go to your dentist and expect not to pay something, right? You don't go to your hairdresser and expect not to pay. So stop doing things for free if that's what you're doing. And you have to kind of change your mindset around that. And I'm sure that's something you probably cover, right, Christine?
Absolutely. And that's definitely something to, like, people who understand the value of what you're doing, you cannot put a price tag on that one. And she says she's doing it for free.
A little crying emoji.
Definitely feminine.
Stop it. They're not going to follow you, right? Yeah. They don't appreciate it. I learned that the hard way, man. I was doing some free ones and they weren't following anything I was saying. And I was giving them really good advice and putting my all into it. But let me just say this. If you're on death row, are you going to hire the lawyer that is $40 an hour or the $500 an hour lawyer? Yeah. And they might both be really good, but your perception is that the one charging more is better. And when you charge nothing, your expectations are that it's not good. Like,
yeah. Oh my gosh, 100%. And also, it is, again, our limiting belief that people are not going to pay. Again, you cannot make that decision for someone else, what they will invest, because you have no idea, again, what the value, like Jody just said, she will pay everything. Me too. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't freaking want to die, right? Like someone save me, like literally, you guys. You cannot make that decision for someone else, but it is your responsibility to charge for your worth. It is your responsibility to know you're here to make that income and the impact, because it's going to follow one another, right? And more income you make, more you can give back, you guys. That is exactly what I want you to start thinking of. And now you're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we do. We give all of our, proceeds, from our book launches to charities, because I want to give back. We do scholarships every single time we do bring in our, folks to our programs, because I can give back more because I'm making more. Does that make sense? And again, I would challenge everyone. And Elena, thank you so much for being open and vulnerable, my love. Again, more income you make, more impact you're going to make, and more you can give back. Let that be in the front of your storefront. Imagine like doing amazing free workshops because you want to and you can, versus like that's all you do in your business, right? And yes, Jody said something, when people, don't invest, they don't show up. And I've seen this over and over and over. I've done a lot of free shit as well too, especially family, when they just expect you to like take care of them because they're family or their best friends. So again, you have to go back to the basics. And again, I'm sharing all this because I used to be one of those folks which I only knew this much, and I had to understand, like, for me to go to the next level, I have to also like increase my own lid of like my own knowledge, right? That's what I'm talking about. And again, I could not have done all of this work by myself. I had to invest working with other mentors and other clinicians and other folks to like show me the way, right? To help me to fine-tune my messaging, fine-tune my ideal client, to really help me understand of like what I didn't know. I didn't have all these answers. I didn't go to business school. I was not an entrepreneur, right? Like, but I had to like lean into someone who's gone there before me. And that's exactly what I did. Again, like the last 3 years, I have invested heavily. We're talking about pricing, and this is something I'm sharing this publicly. My very first launch, when I went like super public, I was like, it's happening. I'm doing this. I made $1,500 in my business, like literally. And I went into making over $650 in revenue because I invested heavily of being in the rooms with people and men and women who can show me what is possible, right? It's me increasing my knowledge lid to the next level. And again, the last 3 years, I've invested heavily on business mentors, coaches, everyone brought in their value to my own business. But I always had to ask myself, am I just copying what my business coach is telling me to do? Or am I stopping and asking myself, how does this feel? And I love my, last 3 coaches in 2020, 21, 22, you know what I mean? I was just like heavy in that masculine energy. Remember I was talking about? I'm going to do exactly what my coach says. All this masterminds that I've invested over $50,000 to be in a room with. But I hit that rock bottom burnout because my nervous system was dysregulated and I had to like escape the world. And I made this big decision in 2023. I'm like, no, I don't need another business strategy or marketing strategy. I need to heal my own journey. And I went on my own healing journey. And I hired a mentor, Erin, that helped me to really get into this woo-woo space because this shit works. And I'm here to bring everything together. And again, this is just me last year when I skipped the world and flew to Bali, saw all healers after healers. I actually had an opportunity to meet up with one of my clients, Dr. Thea, and just really starting my healing journey last year in 2022, because again, I hit that rock bottom as a business owner because I was not aligned of what I was doing. Creating income was there, but I was like not there, like physically, right? And I just came back from Dr. Joe Dispenza's a week-long meditation retreat. And, it was a beautiful time for me to also explore of knowing what is possible for us when we tap in deeper. So I will ask you all to again, pause and ask yourself, what is it that you're here for calling to do? And if you have this, desire to be in a room with other men and women who've gone before you, a tribe that also believes in this beautiful movement of holistic wellness, this is our beautiful tribe. We do have a special invitation for all of you. Thank you so much for being part of our training today. And again, I want you all to definitely connect with me, definitely keep in touch. I'm not going anywhere. I'm on all social media platforms, but if you're serious about taking your health and wellness, business to the next level, we do have a special opportunity just for all of you guys being in this room. Thank you to Jody for again opening her doors to this beautiful community that we've worked on and created, and you guys all have an opportunity to be part of our story community mastermind that is, again, for men and women who just want more from life. And again, I hope you have demonstrated the style of mentorship, what we do create, and you will experience a lot of, the mentorship piece, but also at the end of the day, I'm here to help you and guide you to become the best version of yourself, to operate in a whole different energy level, right? Yes, we might get a little bit woo-woo in our group because I do host, hypnosis sessions, breathwork sessions, energy healing sessions to help you all get so freaking aligned of what you're creating. So next time when you hop on our office hours and asking me a question, you're not asking like, oh my God, pricing my services as hard. You're actually going to give me pricing. Hey, Dr. Christine, should I be pricing this for the services or this? Now we can actually have a conversation what that's going to look like and feel like, how much time you're spending, what's included in your program, right? Or really helping you to truly niche down, but it's that communication piece. So again, you're going to experience a lot in our tribe. And again, the program is like valued over $15,000. You guys, I have extremely, like, I had to pray over this, think about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm doing this for the very first time. And again, this was my gut intuition, literally just coming back from Dr. Joe Dispenza's event. And I said, I need to create this community for other men and women who just want to be in the room with other like-minded folks. And this is where this was given birth. I told my team, you guys, like, we have to bring this to the world. The world needs this. Other coaches and clinicians and practitioners, again, you have to want to be in the room, right? If you want to do this alone, that's beautiful. Good luck to you. I mean, we'll be your biggest cheerleader. But if you're asking yourself, like, I want to learn and grow with someone else without the judgment piece, and we're very open in our group, this is the community for you. Okay. And again, we do have a special invitation for all of you, and Jody and her team. You guys can follow her. This is a QR code you can scan. You guys can get your official discount as well too for being part of this community. You can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can message Jody as well too to have the link to register. And you enter a coupon code, which is Jody225, to save $225. And the investment to your growth is $2,500 paid in full. And when you do that, you also receive additional savings and also part of our HTMA course. Or you can do the monthly payments, which is $250 per month. However, for your group only, no one else has this opportunity. For all of you as a founding member from our community here, you can enter the coupon code Jody225, and it will take your registration to 25 off from your registration.
I just want to jump in for a sec that I've had a couple friends who have done your program, and that's why I invited you to come into my community, who have just raved about it. And I want to say that price point is really phenomenal, Christine. I know you over deliver in your program, and the people that have gone through it have just said how fabulous it was, and that other programs are so expensive for this kind of support. And that's just a really wonderful price point. So I hope a lot of you take advantage of it and use the coupon code, use the link and coupon code.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you ladies and gentlemen will actually see. And thank you, Jody, so much for the kind words. And again, I had to ask myself, what does the world need from me, right? Again, what is my calling? What is my purpose? And again, creating this community mastermind was my calling during the meditation that I just I was like, I have to do this. This is something that I'm so freaking aligned with because the world needs this, right? And this is exactly what you ladies and gentlemen will see when you enter the coupon code. So you'll take the full investment of $2,500. It will come down to $2,275. Or you can get started today with a monthly payment. Your very first month today will be $25.
Wow. And I want to say something. If you get one new client, one paying client, not talking to anyone in particular. Was that Elena? Yes. You get one paying client. This will more than pay for itself, Elena. So it's $250 a month. I mean, that's really, that's your cable bill and cell phone bill combined or something. It's not a lot of money. The price of a cup of coffee a day, really.
Yeah.
And you're going to get so much support to get you those clients and get you working the business. And, Christine's invested so much in herself, and she takes all that knowledge and puts it into this program. And I just think it sounds fabulous. I wish
Yeah.
it was around when I was starting. I would have, my beginning would have been much easier. It was
Yes.
really hard in the beginning for me.
It is, but again, we do invest, we do show up, and we are here to make that impact. And Elena was asking, how long is the program? The program is 12 months. So you guys are stuck with me for 12 months.
Wow,
But
that's
before you
great.
know it, the time is gonna go so fast. But again, I'm here to get you all into the right mindset of taking that dedicated action. It's not just to do something because your coach is telling you to do. It's like really understanding the strategy. Because again, oftentimes we just get so excited with all the shiny objects that's around. Oh, I gotta need this, I need this, I need that. But the reality is you don't need all that. You need just one thing, the next step to the next step to the next step. And that is why, the program is 12 months long, because there's a lot of people who think they have to go get everything in place before they can launch. My style of teaching is the opposite. How can I help you today based on what you have to really start making that income and the impact in your business today? What does that look like? And that is why we host our office hours. We have our weekly trainings. There's a community that you're going to come into that has over 3 years of content, whether it's clinical, whether it's business, with the guest speakers. You guys are walking into something that I've worked extremely hard to create for only people who were in our certification program. But I just know that I know deep down, not everyone is chasing after, let's say, maybe like a certification. They want to do both, or they want to be in the community. So again, this is open for all the coaches, practitioners, anyone in this health and wellness space who do have that burning desire to take their own lives to the next level. And you can also go on the healing journey yourself, because the things that I do and teach and give you guys, you're going to go first. You're going to apply in your own life before you can start implementing your own businesses as well too. So I think that's all we have for all of you guys. Thank you so much. Like seriously, again, this was such a beautiful presentation to serve all of you. I know we went just a few minutes over time, but again, I'm here to answer any questions. Feel free to connect with me as well too. Jody, we're literally just a text message away. So please reach out to her directly as well. And this special pricing and coupon code as a founding member to our tribe, it's only for you guys. So this is not open to the public. You will not see this anywhere. So I hope you're taking advantage and just following your gut feeling, following your intuition. If this is something that you're looking for, I would love to welcome you in our tribe.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Christine. And I will say, if any of you, some people are asking, will this be recorded? If you haven't seen it, if you're watching live and you missed the beginning, make sure you're on our email list, and you can message Jewel, who's one of our admins in our group. She's my new admin, and managing all these programs that we're putting together for you. But make sure you send or message me your email address, and we'll make sure to get you on the email list, because we always send replays for everybody who comes into our groups. So, and then if you're watching it on Facebook, you can always just wait and then start it over if you missed the beginning. But anyway, I hope a lot of you take advantage of it. And I will say, something like this, I mean, that's a no-brainer, $250 a month. I thought your program was a lot more money, actually. I'm really, I'm amazed. And I've seen the content of what's in it. And for a full year, and you're going to learn how to get the clients right away. It's not like you have to wait a year to get clients, right, Christine? You're going to be taking them through and explaining the step-by-step what to do to get that. And really getting your niche really honed in on what you're going to do, and then making the offer and everything you need to do to get this business going. And if this is your passion to help people, like it is mine, and Christine, I know we all had our health issues, or our kids did, or somebody had a health issue, usually, to get us into this line of work. Or maybe you're just sick of working in the Western medicine model, or whatever other job you might have. This is a way to really streamline it and get going on your business. And I am all for investing so that you don't have to try to figure it out on your own, because that's when you wind up giving up, is when you don't have the support you need. So for $250 a month, and even just 25 your first month, so you can start getting clients hopefully then and pay for the whole thing going through. Invest in yourself and do the program. Give me your feedback. I know you're all going to love her. And Christine, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, those of you who are coming on board, literally yesterday we did a 4-hour intensive, you guys. It's already inside our private Facebook community. We did like a crazy like the transformation just from that one session was like so magical. And I also did not mention too, like being part of our community, you're also invited to our live events as well too. So if you said yes to this incredible opportunity, you all have invitation to come to our in-person retreat here in Southern California, which is happening October 14th. So again,
nice.
also being in the room with us at no additional cost, because I value that human to human connections as much as I love the virtual world, but there's nothing magical when you're hugging someone and you're being in the same energy too. So a lot to come, a lot to give and serve. And I hope you all walking away with some like implementation tools. And like Jody said, we're just a message away. Get on her email so you can like get the replay, watch it again, take some action, and just let us know what you would like to learn more. And maybe we'll come back again for other trainings. So
and they can start the training right away when they register, right? You start
absolutely
right away. So
right
you don't
away.
have to wait.
Yeah, you can start right away. It is more of like an open enrollment concept for us. But again, our founding member pricing is not going to be there forever. So
right. And this is what happens when I bring people in and then the program becomes popular, their rates go way up. So get in while the getting's good. You get lots of personalized attention and
yeah.
just, yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much.
You.
And yeah, give us, if you're watching on Facebook, please give us some hearts and some love on there, and tag your friends who you think might be interested in this program. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Christine. Bye-bye.
Yeah.